But there is something most parents do not realize. The baby who is understood before the cry does not stay a baby forever. One day, that same child is 3 years old, standing in the middle of the room, refusing to put on shoes, throwing a toy across the floor, saying no to the smallest thing. And suddenly, the gentle parent who once listened for tiny hunger cues starts to feel something different. Frustration, embarrassment, pressure. Because when a baby cries, we call it a need. But when a toddler screams, we often call it behavior. And this is where many parents lose the thread. Not because they stopped loving their child, not because they became bad parents, but because nobody told them that the nervous system does not suddenly become mature just because the child can now use words. A toddler can say, no. A toddler can say, mine. A toddler can say, I don't want to. But a toddler still cannot always say, my body is overwhelmed. I wanted your attention before my feelings got too big. I do not know how to move from one activity to another. I am tired, but I am fighting sleep because the world feels too exciting. So the parent hears defiance. But underneath the defiance, there is often dysregulation. This is where another quiet Japanese idea begins to matter. Shitsuke. In English, people often translate Shitsuke as discipline. But that translation is too small. Because in Japanese parenting, Shitsuke is not simply about punishment. It is not about making a child obey, because the adult is bigger. It is not about breaking the child's will. The deeper meaning is closer to this: to attach beauty to the body, to help a child carry good behavior inside themselves until it becomes natural. Not forced, not performed only when someone is watching. Natural. And that changes everything. Because in many modern homes, discipline begins after the mistake. The child yells, the parent corrects. The child hits, the parent punishes. The child refuses, the parent threatens. And sometimes, this creates quick obedience. The shoes go on. The toy is picked up. The child becomes quiet. But quiet is not always calm. Quiet can also mean fear. Quiet can mean shutdown. Quiet can mean, I have learned that my feelings are too much for you. And this is the difference Japanese parenting wisdom often asks us to notice. The goal is not only to stop the behavior. The goal is to shape the inner rhythm beneath the behavior. Because a child who only behaves when afraid of punishment has learned control from the outside. But a child who slowly learns what to do with big feelings begins to build regulation from the inside. And that takes longer. It looks less impressive in the beginning. It does not always give you the fast result you want in the grocery store. It may not make you look like the perfect parent in front of other people. But it gives the child something much more important: a body that knows how to return to calm. And this is why Shitsuke is not separate from amae. It grows from it. First, the baby learns. When I need comfort, someone comes. Then, the child learns. When my feelings are too big, someone helps me organize them. And only after that can the child begin to learn. I can organize myself. This is the part many parents are never taught. Self-control is not installed by shame. It is grown through repeated moments of co-regulation. Again, and again, and again. A child does not learn patience because someone says, be patient. A child learns patience because someone helps them survive the feeling of waiting. A child does not learn kindness because someone says, be nice. A child learns kindness because someone shows them what gentleness feels like in the body. A child does not learn respect because someone demands it with fear. A child learns respect when boundaries are firm. But the relationship remains safe. That is the hidden art. Firmness without emotional abandonment. Structure without humiliation. correction without making the child feel alone. And this is where mimamoru returns. Because mimamoru does not end when the baby stops crying. It changes shape. For a baby, mimamoru may mean watching the hands, the eyes, the breath. For a toddler, mimamoru may mean watching the moment before the explosion. The shoulders rising, the voice becoming sharper, the movement becoming wild, the sudden refusal after too much noise, too much hunger, too much transition, too much waiting. Most adults only notice the explosion. But the explosion was not the beginning. It was the final signal. Before the child threw the toy, there was a smaller signal. Before the child screamed no, there was a smaller signal. Before the child melted down in the supermarket aisle, there was a smaller signal. Mimamoru asks the parent to become curious before becoming angry. Not permissive. Curious. Because curiosity creates space, and space gives the adult 1 second to choose a different response. Instead of saying, "Why are you acting like this?" you can ask, "What is too hard for your body right now?" Instead of saying, "Stop crying," you can say, "I see this is big. I am here. We still have to put the shoes on." O day tam dung. Instead of saying, "You are being bad," you can say, "You are having a hard time. I will not let you hit." This is not weakness. This is not letting the child control the home. This is not gentle parenting without boundaries. It is the opposite. It is leadership without panic. Because when the parent panics, the child's nervous system borrows that panic. When the parent shames, the child's nervous system learns danger. But when the parent stays steady, something different happens. The child may still cry. The child may still resist. The child may still fall apart for a few minutes. But underneath the storm, the body begins to receive a new message. My feelings are big, but my parent is bigger. Not louder. Not scarier. Bigger. Bigger in calm. Bigger in patience. Bigger in presence. And over time, this becomes the child's inner voice. This is why the small daily rituals matter so much in Japanese homes and schools. Putting shoes in the same place. Saying thank you before meals. Returning toys after play. Helping wipe the table. Carrying one small bag. Waiting for one small turn. These things may look ordinary, but they are not just chores. They are nervous system training. They teach the child. There is a rhythm to life. My hands can help. My body knows what comes next. I belong to a world where my actions matter. And this is the deeper purpose of ritual. Ritual reduces chaos. When a child knows what comes next, the body does not need to stay on high alert. When the same small action happens every day, the brain stops treating it like a battle. The child does not have to decide from zero every time. The rhythm carries them. This is why a bedtime routine is not just about sleep. It is about predictability. This is why cleaning up is not just about a clean room. It is about responsibility entering the body through repetition. This is why saying thank you is not just politeness. It is attention training. It teaches the child to notice what was given. And the beautiful thing is, you do not need a perfect home to begin. You do not need a Japanese school system. You do not need a calm personality every minute of the day. You only need one small ritual that repeats. One moment where your child's body learns, this is what we do. Maybe every night before bed, your child puts one toy back on the shelf. Not all the toys. One toy. Maybe before eating, everyone pauses for 3 seconds. Not a long prayer. Not a lecture. Just a pause. Maybe when your child is angry, you use the same sentence every time. I will help you. I will not let you hurt. Again, and again, and again. At first it may seem like nothing is happening, The child may still resist. The shoes may still take forever. The toy may still be thrown. The bedtime may still feel too long. But repetition is quiet. It does not announce itself. It builds underground, like roots. And one day, your child reaches for the shoes before you ask. One day, your child says sorry without being forced. One day, your child takes a breath before hitting. One day, your child whispers, "I'm mad," instead of screaming, and people may think that moment came from nowhere. But it did not. It came from hundreds of small moments when you chose teaching over shame, rhythm over threat, presence over panic. That is Shitsuke. Not controlling the child from the outside, but helping the child slowly carry order on the inside. And maybe this is the lesson modern parents need most. Your child does not need you to be soft all the time, and your child does not need you to be strict all the time. Your child needs something harder. A parent who can stay connected while holding a boundary. A parent who can say no without disappearing emotionally. A parent who can correct behavior without attacking the child's worth. Because children do not only remember the rule, they remember the feeling around the rule. They remember whether correction felt like guidance or rejection. They remember whether your face looked like safety or danger. And slowly, those memories become the way they speak to themselves. So tonight, if your child melts down, pause before you rush to label it bad behavior. Look earlier. What happened before the storm? Was there hunger? Was there tiredness? Was there a transition too sudden for their little body? Was there a need for connection that came out sideways? Then, hold the boundary, but soften the face. Lower the voice. Move close. And say with your body before your words, "I am not afraid of your feelings. I will not let you hurt. And I am still here." That is where discipline begins. Not in punishment, not in control, but in the quiet moment when a child learns that love does not disappear when they are difficult. And when love stays, the nervous system can learn. The body can soften. The lesson can enter. Not all at once, not perfectly, but slowly. One repeated moment at a time. So maybe the question is not, how do I make my child listen? Maybe the gentler question is, what does my child's body need to practice before listening becomes possible? Because behavior is not only something to correct. Behavior is something to understand. And discipline is not only what you do after the mistake. It is the rhythm you build before the mistake has to become loud. That is the quiet bridge from amae to mimamoru to Shitsuke. First, the child is known. Then, the child is watched over. Then, the child is gently shaped, not through fear, not through shame, but through presence repeated so many times that one day, it becomes character.